My name is Benny. It's not my real name. If you see on my social media, it's Hong Anh Tran. It's my actual real name. So I'm from Vietnam. I moved to Australia about more than 10 years ago when I was 19 to 20. And right now I am a full-time fitness coach online and in-person personal trainer. I also part-time posing coach. And I also just launched my bikini maker. So I also design bikinis and making bikini for competitors as well. I just finished competing in Bali a few days ago and wrapping up my 2024 season. So I've been competing since 2020. I moved to Australia when I was very young. Being in Asia, you have a very toxic beauty standard. So when I moved here, away from my family, also, I couldn't speak English when I first moved to Australia, and I had that loneliness, and I seek out to food to make me feel comfortable. And I start binge eating a lot, and I gained like 12 kg for first like few months in Australia. And I got kicked out from my auntie place. Not really kicked out. We didn't end up very well because I started having tattoo, and again, like my family was very strict, and it was the best for me to move out. And I was very lonely, and a lot of things went wrong back then, and I start having depression at a very young age, and I just I hate my body back then. So I start going to the gym to just try to lose all the weight that I put on in such a short amount of time. Moved to Australia, and then I found the love with training, and I told myself this is the only thing that I could do right for my life, like loving myself and treating myself right when even my family couldn't love me. My relationship didn't work out. My work, my school, everything kind of falling apart. So I went to the gym to have some part of my life that, okay, is I'm doing one thing right. And that's how I started. And it was 9 years ago. I didn't have results from the beginning. You do your own stuff. I keep like eating very badly. I still have binge eating for first like 3 years, training by myself, like eating a lot and then eating very little, eating a lot, do a lot of cardio. Um, I think it was from the beginning that I go to the gym and I just told myself, okay, this is the only thing that going right. You're doing right, even though the outcome wasn't what I wanted. And even though I didn't have that at the beginning, but for me to have that action in my life, it doesn't matter what time I finish work, I still go to the gym morning, early, late at night. I still went because I know that, okay, this is the only one thing right today that you're gonna have to go and do it. I didn't decided to compete until like end of 2019, which is like 4 or 5 years in my, like journey. And I start actually training. Before that, I was exercising. You do something to make you feel good rather than doing anything. So sometimes people would do, oh, I do something better than nothing. Right. So for the first 5 years of my fitness journey, that's what I was doing. When I started to go into like competing career, for me, I just wanted to do something different because I was stuck in at the job that was very underpaid. So I worked in a nail salon since I first came to Australia, and they was very, very underpaid. And I met my partner and he asked me, what do I want to do for my life? And that was like a wake up call for me because I didn't know. The only thing that I ever wanted is to be happy. But I didn't know what to do to be happy and what is the action for you to work in toward that. And then there was a guy at the gym and he was like, oh my God, you lost so much weight. Why didn't you think about competing? And I was like, what is competing? Like, I have no idea. Like, the only thing that I know is Arnold, like the biggest guy ever. And I'm like, what? No, I'm female. I want to be feminine. And I remember on the train to work, I used to take the train, like 2 hours train to work in this salon. I searched, and then I saw like, oh, bikini, I started reading through the Christian. I still remember that 2019, I was on the train to work and then I reading through the category bikini and I was like, oh my God, like I could do this. This is exactly like I want to look like, toned, healthy, feminine, like a beach body that train. And then I searched, like on YouTube and I saw Haiti Boyle and I saw Rachel Dillon and I'm like, okay, what is this? I want to do this because I used to be a dancer back home in Vietnam. So that part like just combined together and I was like, oh my God, I want to do this. I didn't really know that we actually have different federation. I just saw Heidi Bordeaux and I saw Rachel Dillon. Okay, I want to do this. It's glamorous, the posing, it looked like dancing. I love this, like the physique, phenomenal. Yeah, and then I start just one goal that give me hope, the light at the tunnel for me. For the last 5 years, the darkest time of my life, I found a dream. So I hold on that for a longest time and it took me out of that place. And I realized that, okay, like you don't just want to be happy. You have to know what you want and work into what that goal and that dream. And, even on the hardest day, you know your why and you keep going. Yeah. So that is like how I transformed from, just a normal train exercising to training.
Was it like an epiphany, like a realization, or like a weight almost lifted off your shoulders just to know like, okay, this can be a direction I can go in. Now I finally can maybe feel like I have a direction. Are you a personal trainer, online fitness coach, or gym owner on the verge of burnout? Are you wanting to grow your fitness business but can't add more hours to your hectic schedule? Introducing Trainer Revenue Multiplier, the premier wealth creation system for fitness professionals that helps you earn more and work less. Visit www.trainerrevenuemultiplier.com today to schedule your free business accelerator session. If you're serious about taking your business to the next level, schedule your call today.
So I moved from Vietnam to Australia with a very, like, I am a person that I have a lot of fire in me when I was young. All right, so I moved country by myself with no money. I have $700 and I know that I'm gonna change my life. I have so much opportunity here. I come here with a lot of dream. And then the first couple of years, like facing the hardness of life, like it thrown to you a little bit, that fire disappear. And I think I lost myself during that time. And I didn't realize it because you in it and you just see how much suffer you was and how much pain you have. And you couldn't take a step back and see and remember who you are and the reason why you moved to a different country. So when I have a dream, it bring me back so much fire. It remind me like the young Benny that was in Vietnam, like with a biggest dream. I'm gonna go into Australia. I'm gonna be alive. I'm gonna have I want to be a very successful person in Australia. I don't just want to go there and become a seasoned person, and that's all. But I want to become a citizen, become like a successful Australian, not just normal. So I kind of lost it during the first 5 years. And, I didn't even have a dream back then. And then when I had this dream, it brought me so much fire, and it's remind me, this is who you are. Like, this is like you that stepping, like moving country, and remind me who I am, and I'm very fearless with a lot of goals, with a lot of fire. So when I talk about competing, I have butterfly in my stomach. Like fire. It's scary, but it's give me so much fire. Yeah. So that is why I know that that was my dream, and that giving me so much power and realization that, like who I am. And yeah.
Was there something specific about Australia that attracted you to it?
No, it's because I have an auntie here. She has 5 boys, and she want me to come, like become her daughter. So she helped me and my family out to bring me to Australia. Um, and that resent like it put so much pressure on me because I couldn't be the one that like how she wanted. Like she wanted me to be a certain way. Like my parents wanted me to be a certain way. And back home, I always feel like I'm out of the box. I was out of the box. I went to school and I make a lot of troubles. Like they call my parents all the time. I couldn't sit still. I, it's not naughty. I don't think I wasn't naughty. I just like a very like out of the box teenager that in Vietnam, in Asia, they're very like depressed in that to express who you are. Like, because I'm very fierce and like I'm very like fearless and very like I don't scared of anybody. Like if I think something, I will say it. Doesn't matter. You are my teacher, you my auntie. So they suppressing that, and I feel like there wasn't guidance for me, and I always feel like I have to. I'm the wrong. I'm the wrong child. Like I'm the wrong person. I shouldn't feel this way. Shouldn't be this way. Shouldn't do this. But I want to be like that. I want to do this. Like so. When I first moved to Australia, I have tattoos, and I have to hide it from my auntie. But I forgot the aftercare on the kitchen table, and she was like, "I can't have you in my house, with tattoo." She didn't even allow me to have like nose ring because she said I am like a bad model for her children. So it was the best for me to move out. So I moved out 8 months after I moved to Australia, and then I had to drop out of school because I pay everything by myself without any help from my family. And I dropped out of uni, and my dad was very disappointed because everybody in my like he expect me to study and have a degree, but I dropped out. Yeah.
Did it feel like fitness or in maybe in particular bodybuilding was something that was like really kind of unique and like different and special, and that is something that just drew you to it even more?
Yeah. So, um, with I tell you a little bit backstory because a lot of people like me from Vietnam with a similar family background, even my family members moved overseas. They still living the same lifestyle in Vietnam. Like they do the same job. We do the same things. We get married to stay in Australia. And that is the end goal. And then you work and you labor yourself to send money back home. I don't want it. When I moved out, I thought that was my life. That was what I thought that the only way. And that always, but like my aunt always said, dude, this is your choice. You don't have any other choice. And in me, I was like, no. So that's why I moved out. I'm like, I don't want to be the same. I don't want to get married. I don't want to do the job and I have so much opportunity in Australia. Why would I move to Australia to be the same in Vietnam, just making better money because the exchange rate is different? All right. So I used to do eyelash extension. I worked in the beauty industry for the longest time. But I remember my first ever going to the gym. I love the gym so much. I saw personal trainer. Oh my God, they're so cool. They're good looking. They train. They live at the gym. They eat at the gym. And I was like, I one day I'm gonna become personal trainer. And and that stick with me. I was very scared to switch from, I had a lashes business, but then I dropped that and I moved to fitness. It was very scary because, I lost everything so many times in Australia. At one point, I have to, like, I don't have money to pay for school. I didn't have money to pay for my visa. I have to borrow money from people to like pay that to stay in Australia. And it's survive, like for me, survive was a big thing. So to drop your biggest income and your main income to move to something that completely different and building from the scratch, and you know that it's gonna take you 5, 6, 7 years again to build it, just like how you build in the beauty industry. It scared me so much. But after my first show, I went to Europe. I was so depressed in Europe, and I was like, what is going on? You have the life that you say you want to. You want to be a successful person in Australia. You have your own business. You can competing. You can fund your passion. You have a partner. You are in Europe from a person that have no money to pay for anything. Now you're here and you still sad. So I asked myself that, and then when I got home, I quit. I I I I dropped my beauty business. So I take it like half of my time as so part time, and then I moved full time fitness. And I'm that type of person, very fearless. I don't wait. Like, okay, like what gonna happen? I'm like, if I don't feel right, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna change. I'm gonna do it. And that is like taking a leap for me. It was very scary. I couldn't sleep for 3 weeks. It's not just only become like Australian and successful, but I want to do something that I love. I felt like I have two lives when I was a beauty therapist. Yeah, so I was like competing and training, and then one life of me was doing lashes. And so after the show I had like the biggest blue, like the sadness, like, oh my God, like I have to wait until my last show to feel happy, to like really like live that life. I know that we're still training, but I feel like I have two life. So I changed that.
Initially, what was that transition into the world of fitness? What was that first step that you took? What was like, did you go to a gym? Did you kind of just start your own thing right off the bat, or what was that?
So I actually tried once, but it didn't work out. I hired a business coach, but he wasn't great. He didn't like help me much. He just threw out here a course, listen, do it. So, your first experience very important. You, for me, I thought that I would never be able to do it. But then because I was so sad, then I'm like, okay, fuck that, just do it again. And then I went to the gym. I just went to the gym and told them that I want to work there at a PT. So I just sign up straight away. The next day, it was scary because the rent at the gym is really expensive. So I didn't go into like, oh, like hire me, pay me out. I'm like, no, I'm gonna own my own business. I'm gonna run the way I want to. This is I'm gonna pay the rent at the gym. And then at that time I also starting prepping for my second show as well. So I prep and then start my business at the gym and building up my online. I had another business coach last year, this year, and then she really, really helped me to level that up. And she also the one that behind the bikinis making. She saw me making my own bikini, and she was telling me, why didn't you do pure bikini? And she gave me a deal that she has her best friend competing in Dubai, and she said, I pay for her bikini, so I want you to do that bikini for her. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do that.
That's cool.
And yeah, it's the one thing that I take out from that was like it's only need one person to believe in you.
Yeah.
My partner believed in me when I was like, okay, I'm gonna drop my beauty, go into PT at the gym, go to the, like take a risk and do that. He believed in me, and then also my business coach, and she was like, yep, you can do that. So my first show, I didn't make much money from PT. I didn't have a brand. I didn't have anything. I did PT like 10 sessions per per week. And now, a year and a half later, my business had, like the brand. I have a brand. I have everything together. I don't do beauty lashes anymore. And, it's just like, it's so rewarding that the more risk you take, when you win, the bigger it's gonna be. It's so different with me finishing this show and finishing Sydney show last year. Like my life completely different. Every single show I finished, I'm like, oh my God, it's so different now.
Are you a personal trainer who wants to scale and grow your business online? Have you been coaching online for years, yet don't know how to incorporate online into your current business model? Introducing Trainer Revenue Multiplier, the premier wealth creation system for fitness professionals that helps you earn more and work less. Visit www.trainerrevenuemultiplier.com today to schedule your free business accelerator session. If you're serious about taking your business to the next level, schedule your call today. How long did it take you to go, okay, I've seen it now and I can kind of see what it could possibly be, to, okay, let's start this thing. Let's actually start training, start the, nutrition properly, start doing all the things. And, how long was that transition?
It's straight away. I'm that type of person. Like, okay, like if I think about something, I'm gonna do it straight away. I don't even think about it. I'm like a person, um, follow my heart. If I feel it right, I do it straight away. I don't think. Back then, I didn't have much money, but I still hire a coach straight away. Like for me, it's like, okay, fuck it, just try. Yeah. Am I okay losing this? Yes, then just do it. Yeah. So I always ask myself, am I okay to lose this much of money, to lose this much? If I'm okay with that, yeah, I do it. Like the best thing from losing everything so many times is make you feel easier to lose it again. And that gave me a lot of confidence to take risk. It's not really risk, but like people have a second thought and doubt with something they do it for the first time. But it's just like you jump off the cliff to the ocean for the first time, you were scared. The second time, it was scared, but it's fun. And then you do it like without even thinking, oh my God, it's so fun. And for me, my life is like that. Okay, like another jumping clip, like just do it. I can lose it again. It doesn't matter what else. It can't be worse, like, yeah. So straight away into it. Don't get me wrong. I was too scared. Like I couldn't sleep. I still overthink a lot. It's like as a business owner as well, like you always worry for what like when you're busy, you stress out. When you are so quiet, you also stress out. When everything is so good, you also stress out. Oh my God, why everything's so good? What if something happened and take away this good? Like, but that, if you look at it as like, like it pushing you to better direction, like be on the top, like before the wave coming. We don't want to wait the wave coming and we start making move. We have to like predicting and doing it. So I, over time, I trying to using the trait that I have to become like, this is how I am and I can really use this as my advantage instead of trying to like calm myself and fix my anxiety. I have anxiety all the time, but like where is the anxiety coming from? From something that I overthink. Okay, so how can I prepare myself to if that come to me and I can handle it? So understand what you stress about, even though it's not even here yet, solve it first. Try to find a solution first. Like, for example, if I was like, oh my God, what if a person came to me with a broken back? I'm gonna have to say no. Okay, like, I don't know how to deal with it. Okay, like, what can I do? Let's do a course. So doing that, giving me a lot of confidence. If something come, I have the skill to handle. And you can be okay with like stress and anxiety. It's so normal. Yeah.
So, tell us a little bit about what that experience, that journey was like initially getting into bodybuilding and really starting to train and starting to maybe see your body change in like really unique ways. And especially with the dieting and, getting into prep and, even maybe getting into that first show. Like what were those initial experiences like?
My first fall prep was canceled because of COVID. So it was very different. I don't really I feel I prepped for such a long time and do so many shows already before I actually step on stage. I remember I did my first show. It was really, really hard. At that time, I worked with a coach. He was very busy and the communication wasn't right. I I did everything that I could, and I always think that I don't have a genetic for the sport. I thought that I have bad genetic, but I have the work ethic to back it up. So I just worked, and it was really hard. I cried at the gym a couple of times. I was like, oh my God, this is what it takes to become a bodybuilder. But like, I just keep going. And I just told myself, it's just like, I just told myself, this is nothing comparing to how I have to deal with my depression and, like move to Australia. That's nothing can compare with that experience for me even until now. So every single time I feel struggle, I remind myself like you're able to going through that time, you will be able to go through this. So at the first show, I didn't enjoy it that much. A lot of like doubt in me. I already felt lost when before I step on stage. I remember I cry every single day in peak week because I know that I already lost. I step off stage and I cry, even though I get into top 10. And for me, it was the most embarrassing thing that I ever done because I feel like now, like as a more mature athlete, I was in a lineup of 30 girls and I was number 8. The girls at number 9 would die to be like, not die, but like she would want to be like moving up to the number 8. The girl that on the back would be just want to be in the top 10. I was in the top 10 and I was disappointed and cried in front of people backstage like a brat. I told myself, brat. So like, but like we're human and we learn and we reflect every single experience that we went through. That was my first experience going to my first show. So my first prep was like cancel, keep canceling, keep canceling. So it was like 2 years to make my debut and fourth prep.
That's
Yeah.
a lot of commitment there to keep going and keep grinding and just have that faith that eventually it would come, really, because at
Yeah.
that point in time, we really didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah. Because I keep prepping, they cancel it. They keep prepping, they cancel it. But because it was my dream. Like I told you, like how strong it was for me and it's giving me so much fire. But look back at it, I'm like, hell no, I shouldn't step on stage in 2020 because I was so skinny. I was like, no way. It could be worst experience for me. When I step on stage, that would be the only one time because, like you have so much expectation for yourself and you only start training proper for like short amount of time. And thanks to that happened for me, so I able to like growing and kind of more mature. And even though I sat on the off stage and I cried, but like I cried because I know that I could do better. Like I know that I should do this, I should do that, I should post like this, I should be better. So the promise I made for myself was I will never disappoint at myself ever again. Like ever. It doesn't matter how I place. After my first show, I didn't know that I'm gonna compete in again. So I just want to do another show with another coach to see like different experience. But if I don't want to have myself who I am just based on the first experience. So I want to redo it to confirm that do I hate this? Do I like it? So after my second show, I love it. I love it so, so much. And, I come in without any expectation. I have a lot of fun. I wasn't stressed. And it was a smaller show. And I make a lot of improvements. And one promise I make to myself is I won't step on stage without improvement. So, like the hardest of the sport that I think that we all fear was your best is not enough. You make improvements. The church asked you to come in and be leaner, more muscle. You did it. It's your best and you beat your best and you become better and better and better. But it doesn't mean that you're going to move up to the rank. Like you sign up for a bodybuilding show, you sign up to lose. If you can lose, you take that loss as like with like a lot of people very upset the way that like it's very immature and it's very poor sportsmanship. Like if you can't take that loss, you never ready for the win. That's what I think it is. So my biggest fear was not like a delay or anything. It was like, am I okay with playing worse, even with my best? Am I okay with like I'm not okay with not progressing my physique. Yeah, that's the only thing that I afraid is not able to improve when I step on stage and playing worse because I placed second in my October show. It's just only 8 weeks ago. So this show I came in is my best package. I was so proud of myself, but I placed fifth this show. The result hasn't come out yet, but I was asking one of the church at the party of FMG after the show. I asked him like what he think about me, like do he has any feedback, like I want to know my place and why I've been pushing out, even though I bring my better. So that you have to accept that if you want to do this sport, you have to have very thick skin, especially in bikini. You're not the biggest one. It's not about biggest one, the prettiest one, or the leanest one. It's so objective. You stand in front of different judging panel. It's completely different. It could be the same lineup, different judges. It could be very different. So for me, that's something I have to learn to accept that, and it's hard.
This podcast is sponsored by Smoking Gun Coffee, a veteran-owned coffee company that strives to give back to those in need. Don't forget to use code TWR10 for a 10% discount at checkout. Yeah, I can imagine, being Because a lot of bodybuilders obviously like of course you compete to win, but you also have this like this competitive spirit, but more like I want to do and be my best. But then when you're going against other people, you can't control what they do. So then there's these like conflicting ideas of like wanting to be your best, but also wanting to be better than they are. And one thing can be true. Like you could actually be better than they are, but not be your best, or you can be your best and not be better than they are. And I guess the goal really is to be, have both. But one of those things you really just can't control. And I think that's where a lot of kind of the confliction comes in, when the show, when the, when the judges do their judging and places are put on each competitor. I think that's where a lot of times it can be hard for a while until I think kind of maybe more it sinks in.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. It's just like there's only one winner, like everybody was saying to me that your time will come, like you have whatever it say to become a pro, your time will come. And like you see people like first timer, they win pro cards straight away. And I actually thought about this a lot for the last couple of days. I was like, all my journey, like going to Australia, earning my citizenship, having career, switching career, building up from beauty, and then building up from fitness, and then this to build up my physique, everything. It's always hard, and it's gonna be my story. Will I give up if I gave up when I was back then 4 or 5 years ago, I would never able to have my citizenship. If I give up in my dream, become, personal trainer, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be able to, live in my dream, live in my passion. If I give up when COVID happened, for sure, I wouldn't be here. So I asked myself, like, why you let this to stop you to keep going toward your dream. And I accept that, okay, it's a trade from it's the story of my life. Everything I'm earned and I achieve in my life is so hard. And some people I heard this phrase before because for example, you born in Australia, you start from zero. I moved to Australia, I start from minus. I need to work in toward the zero, earning citizenship to be able to have medical care, to be able to have a loan, to be able to buy a house, to be able to, like stay there without fear that you get kicked out and have to start again. People born in Australia, they have it straight away the moment they was born. That your zero start. I have to remind myself, my start is minus. I don't know how much lower how low I was, but it was minus and I working up there. And sometimes I forgot about how much I improved. And you just look like, oh my God, like, you feel very disheartening without seeing how much progress and how much work you put in to just be here. I'm so proud of the progress that I made. And like bodybuilding and like training in the gym and trying to see your body change, like it's a long journey and you have to be very patient with that and trust the process. And that teach me a lot. And it's still, I still learning from that journey. Like, when I first start my business, it's very slow. And I had to remind myself, do you see your body changing after 2 weeks of training? No. So don't expect your business change in 2 weeks. Would you see a result with your coach in 12 weeks? No. They can teach you some skill, but then if you have a business coach or like a mentor, do you expect to earn 6 digits to just be with them for 12 weeks? No. The more you want, the more invest you have to put in the time, the work, and then so it kind of like teaching me, like in different way. So that's how and why I love bodybuilding, and it teach me so much. It still teach me every single lessons. For example, this show, last show, everything. Yeah, I need to be humble. Then okay, there you go. Like humble me. Keep working harder. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. And I think once again, it kind of goes back to like just being out there doing different things, putting yourself in different, situations and ventures and businesses. And
It's how you do one thing, it's how you do everything. Yeah, you have a trait, that's your character. If that's who you are and your character, you can bring that into every single aspect in your life, your relationship, your business, your friendship, your physique and health. And that's what I believe. So yeah.
if you had to point to something and go, this is what success looks like for me in 5 years and in 10 years, like what does that look like for you?
My success, like being success is different for everybody. For me, is able to support my family, like help them financially. That's number one. So I want to retire my mom. That's number one. Like that's always my number one goals, that I want to retire my mom. And I want to free my partner from corporate work, that we can actually work together. And I'm able to travel the world and able to do what I love, and still able to, like funding and supporting to do what I love without sacrifice anything else. Like right now, to be able to do what I love, I have to sacrifice, like I can't help my family. So for me, being successful is, um, like helping my parents, helping my sister, because I have that opportunity to move to Australia. They didn't. And for me, I always have this dream with me. The moment I step to Australia is having my family being able to do what they love, just like me. So that's my success. That's the biggest. And my partner as well. I free myself from, working for somebody. And then I want to build a business and like a career, a future for us, that we can do it together. And I'm able to keep doing what I love. Like if I want to competing, I can compete around the world, travel and competing, and and be happy. Yeah, for me, uh, it doesn't have like a number. It doesn't have to be like a crowd, a pro card. It's my goals. It's not, but it's not my dream anymore. But my dream now is just like a little bit further. Like I want to have like bigger business, and yeah,
Well, it
and be
sounds
able to find my passion. Yeah.
great goals and some great ambitions out there, and you're, definitely have
Yeah.
the work ethic to get it done. So best of luck.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's not very deep, but at the same time, it's not that deep. I just want to be happy. Yeah, like maybe that my happiness will change in a couple of years. Maybe I want to have a children. Maybe I want to marry. That's gonna be my happiness, and I don't want to like put something that do like, because I set that goals, but it doesn't make me happy anymore. I won't do it. So I am the person follow my heart. As long as I'm happy and content and be able to be who I am, I keep doing it. And if not, I will change. Yes, because my goal used to be X amount of money, and I have that, and I wasn't happy. I still feel depressed in myself. Like when you're going through that phase, doesn't matter how much you have, don't want to you don't want your life. So for me, my biggest goal is never ever be there again, no matter what it takes.
Yeah, that's very powerful. And once again, best of luck. And, thanks for coming
Yeah.
on the podcast and sharing.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was great and very, very motivating, very inspiring and certainly just, all around a great message. So thanks again. And if you want to, before we head out, if you want to share anything, any socials or any, way people can get in touch with you, or if you want to share anything like that, you can go ahead and do that.
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram, coachbennytran. Yeah, I'm an open book. People can message me if you want some comedy stuff, funny shit from fitness. Yeah, you can find me on at Coach Benny Tran. Yeah.
If you're tired of searching for a coach or trainer, somebody who knows what they're talking about and has experience, make sure you go check out the new Coach's Corner on weightroompodcast.com. You can find quality, qualified coaches to help you achieve your goals, whether that's in bodybuilding or just general fitness. Stop wasting time and start achieving your goals today. The link to the Coach's Corner is down in the description below.